We had a little rain forecast for this weekend, so I ran out here after work, I think it was Friday evening, and started putting some stuff away in this east side of my lean-to, which was the whole intended purpose, was to keep some of my equipment out of the rain. This is the bucket that I normally keep on my Bobcat, and you can see it kind of loaded up with water a bit. But I have this set of forks that I put on instead, and I was able to use that to move some of this stuff into my lean-to. One thing I moved in here was my sickle mower. This was the International 1000 that I rebuilt the mower on. I picked this whole thing up for a $100 bill because the bar was broken, and you watched me fix that, so I've used it for the last 2 summers mowing hay, and it works really well. Even in the last 5 or 10 minutes that I've been out here, the rain is picking up even a little bit more. And I have this older John Deere 336, it's a small square baler that I've had out by my wood pile, sitting out in the weather. So I was able to take the forks on this Bobcat and hook onto my tongue and back it right in here. So it's nice to have it in out of the weather. The hitch and the PTO shaft sticks out a little bit, but I wanted the main body of the baler inside anyway, and we got that accomplished before the rain set in. And I've also got this old original McCormick grain drill, and it has a grass seeder attachment on it as well. This is horse-drawn, still has original paint and striping, and I'll show you the lettering that is on the backside. It's a little dark back here on the backside, but you can see the McCormick Deering, and it has underneath it fluted feed McCormick Deering. Still original lettering and paintwork. Since this was horse-drawn, this is where you would sit, and these 2 handles here raise and lower the feed tubes and the discs that actually runs this seeder. Again, an old original 6-foot McCormick Deering grain drill. I've had this drill for probably over 20 years. I don't remember exactly, 20, 21 years maybe 22. Back when I was still driving teams, doing my farm work with horses, and I had kind of surmised that I was going to do some seeding and drilling with horses. I never did get round to that point before I sold my team and moved off the ranch. But this drill has been inside the barn, and I wanted to open up that space. So part of the reason of this overhead covered machinery shed side was to get this out of the barn, but still keep it under cover. Since this is still somewhat open to where birds can get in here, I do keep a corrugated tin cover on it. Pigeons and birds and what all else that I don't want messing up this old paint on. So I did get a chance to put some of my gable end trim on. I've got 3 corners, the northeast, southeast, and then the southwest. I haven't done the northwest corner yet. Still waiting to finish that short side. But it's nice to have this amount of equipment under cover. I don't have my backhoe in, and I'm not sure it's going to fit inside. I had calculated in my space about my grain drill. I was going to put the backhoe where the grain drill was at, but actually a grain drill in my mind is a little more important. But as it rains, it's nice to have this inside. I've got some dirt work here that's going to be muddy in the rain, but I'll bring some road mixed gravel in and kind of get rid of some of this mud. But on this west side, now I have a spot to put my tractor in out of the rain, and it's possible I could put my backhoe on this side as well. We'll see how it goes. But as this west side stands right now, I'm open for my whole 18 feet. Well, I've been kind of thinking about this a little bit. I'm going to change this. I'm going to come out with 1 sheet of tin that is going to be 38 inches. I'm going to set a post here, and I'm going to tin it clear to the top, come across, and then the remaining 3 feet, piece of tin will go up, So I'm going to reduce this 18-foot opening down to 12 foot. That'll allow me the option of making a sliding door I can put on tracks to open this up or close them up, so when that north wind blows that brings the snow in, I can maybe close this up and eventually hinder some of that snow from piling up into this side. That was kind of an afterthought. Initially I was just going to leave it open. The more I think about this north storm wind that brings the snow in, I've kind of revamped my thoughts somewhat on that. And it's kind of because of this other shed where I used to keep the bobcat at. Remember, this little hole here is where I would back the bobcat in for the wintertime. Well, as that north wind comes with the snow, it would still kind of fill that bobcat up. So that's why I wanted to put the bobcat over there, be less likely to do that. This is my straw that I've got that I put around my watershed. It's good enough. Remember the old Rudy stove that I had down at the shop? I had it setting over where the baler is now, and then I moved it over here. So it's not a big deal that it has to be out of the weather, but I would like it to be. Where I use this at the shop so much, I think now, possibly somewhere down the road, I may set this up into the shop here, since I have no power and what all, and this might be some sort of a heat source for my barn out here in the wintertime. And so this is where my mowing machine and my baler used to sit, out here in the wide open. Now it's undercover. And I mentioned in a video or two back when I rebuilt my shed for the cows, well, I had a load of logs out here. Well, this past week, it's been upper 90s, 97, 8, 9 in there somewhere. And that's really a good time to block up logs. It opens them up, allows them to dry. So I got the whole rest of this pile all blocked up, and I've been working on splitting it into my winter wood supply. Some of these were pretty healthy logs. I took my 24-inch bar on my husky saw and got it all blocked up. We're still pretty overcast for the day. Cows are up close, kind of liking the cooler weather. Well, the forecast for today was it was supposed to have light scattered showers till 6 in the morning. Well, I was out there from 7 till 3 in the afternoon, and it never did quit raining. So I came back to the shop and thought, well, if I can't work out there on my playground, that's really what it is, then I should probably come back here and do something productive. Well, I need to do something about building this 10-foot wheel with this hub. So I've been kind of stewing this over about building the wheel portion of this whole wheel, putting the spokes in, vertically. So I'm going to build a stand to mount the hub up, and it's going to have to be about 5 foot tall in order that I can put the spokes in and access both sides so I can get to the nuts as I'm doing this. So I thought I'd go just order a kit, you know. Wheel frame kits are us. Can't you buy anything online? Well, this is what I got. Well, I got a couple of 4x4s that are just shy of 5 foot, but I think it's going to work by the time I have my 2x4 frame. Now, I ordered this for a caster that I have that is 4 foot square. Hopefully, they sent what I need. This will be my bottom frame. I'll have some cross braces somehow, and then some of these gussets that are going to go in the corners. They didn't send any instructions, but I think I can figure it out. They sent me some screws. I have some 2-inch and some 2.5s, and I have some 4s. So I just got to figure out where it all goes. Isn't that oftentimes how it happens? You buy something and battery's not included, or this or that, and you're supposed to just figure it out. Some assembly required. Well, that's where we're at. Some assembly required. Hopefully I can figure this out. Well, the frame on my dolly is 4 foot outside to outside. And this built with 2x6s, and this I have obviously is 2x4s. So something like so will give me 45, but I need to be 37 inside, and I'm 38. The inside of my frame is 37, so that'll work. I could bring those in, but they're okay. On the outside, I do have 48 OD. Well, I want the maximum of distance for the spokes in the middle, so I thought I'd order the kit with the short pieces in the center. That'll allow those spokes to swing through if they have to. And I think these are supposed to go somewhere like so. And I guess this is where the 2-inch screws are going to go. Now I am assuming, since this is factory made, you know, everything should be pretty square. Well, it didn't come with any pre-mark for center, so I guess I'll have to do that myself. And you pay the cheap price, you know. Well, they did send plenty of screws, that's nice. Well, most of the time, your kits show up with pre-drilled holes and figure A, figure B. But I don't have any of that with this. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. So, something kind of like so, maybe? This is what they had in mind. Directions would have been nice. I'm guessing this is where those big 4-inch screws would have gone. Kind of makes sense anyway to me. Probably could have sent me a straighter post. That one's not very straight. These seem pretty wobbly. Maybe that's what those short pieces are for in this kit. Maybe it's to kind of firm this up a little bit. I'll bet this is what these are for. That when the post is crooked, my braces, they don't fit very good. I don't think too much about this factory kit stuff. They must have thought something about like that, huh? Well, since I do have a saw, I suppose I could modify these a little bit. Not really impressed with their workmanship. But you know, I think most of these only get maybe 50 cents an hour, so they don't pay a whole lot of attention. You get what you get. Yeah, that's a little better. I guess it's better than if I had to start from scratch, huh? So I wonder if this post is square. Maybe I should check that. Surprisingly close for a factory job. Maybe that's what I should have expected. Something like so, maybe. Maybe that'll work. Well, they sent 4 of these short pieces. Not sure where they go. Sure wish they'd given some instructions, but I kind of think that if I put a bar through my hub and lift it up, that bar needs to set on here, so probably a good thing to have something to keep that bar from falling off. Maybe that's where these are supposed to go. I bet maybe is, and then that bar could fit in here and keep from falling off. I'll bet that's what they're for. Well, since I'd never done this before, I figured it'd be faster just to go online and buy a kit for this. A little modification, but saves me having to think about how to figure it out in the first place. Glad somebody else has already done it. So now I guess I hoist the hub up in here and set it on. Well, it's a good thing I got this done before I have to do my regular work. I'll put this in the after work category. Appreciate you following along. Thanks for watching.